Welcome Capricorn to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 6th of May for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm showing your event chart right at the start of the week. Now we always need to be mindful of each zodiac sign's ruling planet. You've got just the one, which is Saturn. But also at the start of the week, just look at house 5. That's packed with goodies, particularly having the midpoint between the Sun and the Moon in this area of your situation. The midpoint is, if you like, the yin-yang of a chart, and this provides the backdrop for the whole week. But having Jupiter in the 5th house is enthusiasm central. Of course, it has been there for a year, and it had been linking very closely to Uranus. Now, just a little bit of a subplot of this week, they are going to stretch out from being within 3 degrees for the first time since the end of March. So that's interesting. But Jupiter actually goes on to forge a really lovely link to Neptune this week as the week goes on. So your communication, particularly your empathetic communication, can be very important. But Saturn, your ruler, is right at the heart of proceedings, because you can see at 17 degrees, it's linking within about 1 degree to the Sun at 15 degrees and 57. But by Wednesday's new moon, and the new moon in the 5th house is one of the most glorious of the whole year, because the 5th house is about joy. It's about where we're going to showcase our talents, we'll interact, we're going to be more sociable. Can be about our children and their pursuits if we've got them, but certainly having Saturn feeding into that new moon brings some stability. So the 5th house can promise a lot, but we need to see it through, and that's your great gift. You stick at things, and that comes from Saturn. So Saturn being in your 3rd house, linking brilliantly to the Sun and the new moon, and Neptune in your 3rd house of everyday communication, linking brilliantly to Jupiter, suggests you can have it all covered. People will think that what you say is what you mean, and that can give you an authority. People can feel that you're sincere. But your practicality here can merge with your creativity, so that's fabulous as well. But of course we do still have activity in house 4 to do with where you live, your emotions and family activities. And you can see that Pluto, which moved on from your sign on the 21st of January, but it's coming back on the 1st of September for one final visit, is still linking at the start of this week, as it did at the end of last week, in a very constructive way to Mars. So if you were wanting to change some elements of your life, because Pluto is about transformation, and you needed to use the urgency and thrust of Mars to push those changes through, that's a very strong link. Now Mars in the 4th house can be a little bit defensive and prickly, maybe around the home scene. If you are wanting to make some further improvements, your desire to do this needs to be met by the people around you, other family members or people who share your life. So the great news is that because that 3rd house is so solid, which is how you can express your ideas, and also a slice of humour will be important as well. Someone wrote on one of my videos that honey is always better than vinegar, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant. You know, if we need to deliver a message, doing it with a little bit of lightness certainly helps. So there is stuff going on in your 4th house, not least Mercury by the end of this week finally emerges from its post-retrograde shadow. And if there has been a delay in someone doing something in your home, perhaps a tradesperson, or you've been analysing elements of your emotional or family life since Mercury went into its retrograde on the 1st of April, this is the 3rd time it connects to Chiron. So the thinking you've been doing about your emotional world and perhaps your identity really is another area of growth this week in a constructive way. So all in all, it's looking very good early in the week, Capricorn, but it's looking good later in the week too, because by Saturday and Sunday, it's Venus that's linking so constructively to Saturn. Saturn has a reputation for being dour, but it is about fate, it is about boundaries, it is about understanding our limitations, but it's also about application, which you understand so well. So if there was somebody that you're attracted to or you wanted to work with, the ability to convey your warmth and great fun that you often have with that pragmatism is going to be something that will be very attractive. So don't underestimate that or those characteristics that you possess. I hope you have a great week. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please help it grow and do so now.